Once upon a time, way out in the desert, there were three little javalinas. Javalinas are wild, hairy, southwestern cousins of pigs.
Their heads were hairy, their backs were hairy, and their bony legs, all the way down to their hard little hooves, were very hairy, but their snouts were soft and pink.
One day, the three little javalinas trotted away to seek their fortunes. In this hot, dry land, the sky was almost always blue. Steep purple mountains looked down on the desert where the cactus forest grew. Soon the little javalinas came to a spot where the pack divided and each one went a different way.
The first little javelina wandered lazily along. He didn't rest the storm, whirling across the desert until he caught it. The whirlwind blew away and left the first little javelina sitting in a heap of tumbleweeds, brushing himself off. He said,
"I'll build a house with them," and in no time at all he did.
Then along came a coyote. He ran through the desert so quickly and so quietly that he was almost invisible. In fact, this was only one of Coyote's many magical tricks.
He laughed when he saw the tumbleweed house and smelled the javelina inside. He thought Coyote was tired of eating mice and rabbits and called out sweetly, "Little pig, little pig, let me
"Not by the hair on my chinny chin chin,"
shouted the first javelina, who had a lot of hair on his chinny chin chin.
Then I'll huff, and I'll puff, and I'll blow your house in,"
said the coyote, and he huffed and he puffed and he blew the little tumbleweed house away.
But in all the hullabaloo, the first little javelina escaped and went looking for his brothers and sisters. Coyote, who was very sneaky, tiptoed along behind him.
The second little javelina walked for miles among giant cactus plants called saguaros. They held their ripe red fruit high in the sky, but they made almost no shade, and the little javelina grew hot.
Then he came upon a Native American woman, just gathering sticks from inside a dried up cactus. He began to use these long sticks called saguaros to knock down the sweet cactus.
"Please, may I have some sticks to build a house?"
Ow!
she said, which means yes in the language of the desert people.
When he was finished building his house, he lay down in the shade. Then his brother arrived, panting from the heat, and the second little javelina moved over and made a place for him. Pretty soon, Kyle found his little red house. He used his magic to make his voice sound just like another javelina's. Little pig, let me come in.
He called, but the little javelina were suspicious. The second one cried,
"No, not by the hair, my chinny chin chin."
Bah, I'm going to eat your hair.
Thought Coyote. Then Coyote smiled, showing all his sharp teeth.
I huff, and I puff, and I'll blow your house in."
The three little javelinas covered their hairy ears, but nothing happened. The javelinas peeked out the window.
The tip of the coyote's raggedy tail whisked right past their noses. He was climbing upon the tin roof. Next, Coyote used his magic to make himself very skinny.
The stovepipe.
And cast the third little javelina. Quickly she lighted a fire inside her wood stove. What the beast do? Coyote said to himself. He squeezed into the stovepipe. I think I would eat it with hot chili.
Whoosh, sizzle. Then the three little javelinas heard an amazing noise. It was not a bark, it was not a cackle, it was not a howl, it was not a scream. those audible sounds make sounds together.
Yep. 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 They were in a puff of smoke shaped like a coyote.
The three little javalinas lived happily ever after in that adobe house.
And if you ever heard Coyote's voice way out in the desert at night,
Well, you just know he's remembering. Script by Jill Duck, SRT, Tuesday Public